The other sort of attribute that we folks have is that we are generally entrepreneurial in nature. And I don't know whether you got to see this show on CNN where they said that only about 10% of Indian employment is with the government or with established companies. 90% of the people are engaged in some kind of entrepreneurial activity, whether they are fixing cars or making something out of metal or selling something through small shops. And along with entrepreneurial zeal comes resourcefulness and creativity. So I find, and that's the reason I've been successful in my organization, and I'll talk a little bit more about what I could do at the University of Memphis, and most of the people are absolutely amazed that we could do that in that particular school, almost being competitive with the Ivy League business schools in niche areas. But that was because of the resourcefulness, the creativity that we bring to the job, the entrepreneurial job. So I think those are some of the attributes which our culture has naturally ingrained in us that allows us to be good leaders. But I think the important point is that the other attributes of being quality conscious, being data driven, putting in a hard day's work, honest work, rules and regulations, that is 90% of running an organization, which the Western culture has mastered, and they've trained us to do that. So you cannot be what I am suggesting without having that core of being data driven, being quality conscious, having rules and regulations in terms of how to run entities. That part the Western culture has mastered. What we folks can add are the dimensions we talked about, which can be even summarized in mastering complexity, mastering a diverse group of stakeholders. See, India is a very complex country. We all are aware of the fact that, hey, there's sexism over there. Ages ago there was sati, where the wife or the widow jumped into the fire, husband's funeral. So there are enough documented evidence to show that, hey, women are not equal to men. One could argue that, right? At the same time, you look at that, we had an Indian women prime minister long time ago, right? We've had a president who's been a woman. We have goddesses. There are festivals where we celebrate women. How do those things coexist, right? You know that there are so many different cultures, so many different languages in the country. How do we coexist? So managing complexity and trying to create win-win situations for different stakeholders, I think again comes very naturally to people. So not wanting to hurt any one stakeholder, again comes very naturally. So those are the kind of things that we guys do well, servant leadership, being apolitical, manage complexity with resourcefulness and creativity to bring about win-win situations for everybody. But like I said, that is 10%, and that's the outer layer. But that outer layer is becoming more and more important now, because everybody is doing that 90% very well. So in this hyper-competitive environment, if you want to succeed, you need to add this 10% around that. And I think that's what we folks can do well.